record this meeting. Yep. Okay, your examination for next week is going to be divided into two. So you're going to be doing a what is this? Uh you're going to be having an activity, the like a homework session, and then you will be having your written exam or your objective exam. The objective exam is similar to your first grading. However, it will be done in class marker already. So it's no longer in Google Forms. We will do that in class marker. It's actually a multiple choice and true or false. I'm not sure kung merong identification, pero kung meron man, I'm sure it's less than 20, probably 15. But what I do know is that it has a lot of multiple choice questions and some and true or false. So mixed siya. So that's going to be 60 points or 60 items and 60 points. And then I'll be giving you right now I'll be giving you two questions for Tuesday and Thursday, and then you have you have the last activity. So you're going to be doing it will be quite stretched. I was not able to give any task last meeting because of the situation. So as I have told you, we're going to have the last stretch now. But don't worry because the next tasks are quite similar or are easier naman. They are not so difficult or it's not too wide or as difficult as the last one. I told you that this is the what you did last time was the last fill up activity that you did. The rest will be visuals based on your modules. I'll be sharing my screen. Google Chrome. All right. So as you can see, we are done with with the fifth module already. If you need some refreshers, just go over our previous lessons. So we've talked about the elements and principles of art and design, and we also talked about the importance of using the principles of design in art analysis. So there are some paintings, and you're supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to talk about it based on the different elements of art and the different principles of design. So those are the ways for you to apply that. For lesson 6, it's more about being an art reviewer. Last time I introduced to you Feldman. Have you watched that? Um Here, so you did your art analysis slides. We discussed we went into Feldman, etc. There are if you watch the playlist that I sent you in Google Classroom, you can find in there the parts that are very important. So there is your introduction to art, oil painting, encaustic, and then the sealing of the Sistine Chapel. And of course, the idea of Feldman, which is already included in your module. So those are some of the things that you have to get used to when you're doing art analysis. So art analysis is an essential part of studying art appreciation. So you're supposed to know or you're supposed to have an opinion about an art piece whenever you see one. So pag may narinig kang song, which we will be doing in the finals, music analysis, you're supposed to have an opinion. If you see a painting, you're also supposed to have you can create an opinion about it. Yun yung point nung pinag-aaralan natin. Therefore, going back to your evaluating art module, I will be discussing with you right now the this one, curating or the museum. After I will discuss with you the museum, you've already sort of done your art reviews based on the questions. But for the midterm project, this is what you're going to be doing. Ayan, so number one, this is going to be part of your asynchronous on Thursday. You're going to be where is that? This is going to be done by group. Ay, bakit wala dito? It's not here. Ayun, so it's part of art history. So you're going to be doing this part. You're going to be doing a museum brochure, and I will give you your groupings within by tomorrow. Kindly give me until tomorrow to give you your updated groupings for this. The museum brochure is going to be a paired work. So it's going to be paired because is it paired? I'm not sure. I'll double check nga if it's individual or paired, but it's going to be based on what you also did last time. So select one submission from last week, either the representational or non-representational art, and expand the analysis of the subject by focusing on the media and elements used this time. And you're going to create your brochure for that. So that's the first one, okay? Um I thought there are some samples here, wala yata. But your brochure will be based on this one. So for example, who are the members of this class? Example, Delenela, na maingay ang mic kanina, pwedeng sa kanya yung Egyptian, pwedeng sa kanya yung Egyptian period. For Kado, oh sorry, your Korean classmate went back to Korea so we can speak in Filipino. So anyway, your topics will be divided that way. So for example, Greek will go to Barrientos. Sino pa yung mga dito? Miss Guerrero will have Etruscan. Roman will be given to Miss Balura. Rebadolia will get Islamic, etc., etc. So I will assign to you a certain movement or a certain art movement, and you're going to create a brochure upon it by focusing on the important artists and the important works. Okay. So I'll also show you some samples later during the end of the class. So that's the first part of your midterm project. The second part of your midterm project is wait wait lang ha. Kindly pay attention because this is your project. This is your midterm project. Okay, this is you're going to create like a visual tour. Okay, so example, what painting was assigned to you, Miss Barrientos?
Sir?
What painting was assigned to you?
Sir, poster for job cigarette.
Okay. Job Cigarette by Gustav Klimt, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, um, you're going to get the painting and you will give a visual tour by explaining the rest of the painting in parts. Do you see this? So you're going to lay out. So yun yung tuturo ko sa inyo today. So for example, the painting is this is the painting assigned to her. Or sige, let's look for something that's already here. Okay, this one, because this is something you've seen. This is The Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli. You're going to make like a poster or an explanation, like an infographic about your painting. And how are you going to do the infographic? You're going to do it this way. So, di ba you had your analysis? You already submitted the paper last time where you described the different parts of it. It's like you're going to explain, look at this part. You're going to explain to us how you're going to explain the painting by showing to us certain parts of it that will make us curious. Do you get it? So for example, in the painting The Birth of Venus, you will explain number one will be this girl, si Venus mismo. Number two will be, so you will have grids. Number two will be the shell. Number three will be those two figures there. This is number 4, 5, 6, 7. All of these ones are based from your analysis or the ones that you submitted last time, yung binasa nyo. And then you're just going to rewrite the explanation in 2 to 3 sentences and then lay it out in a poster like this. So your submission will look something like this. So example, Venus. The mythological goddess emerges as a fully grown woman. Her right hand covers one of her breasts, while her left holds long skeins of golden hair over her pubic area. Her classical pose is known as the Venus pudica, the modest Venus. Some artists portrayed the goddess as a more erotic figure. However, Botticelli's Venus represents the 15th century Italian ideal of female beauty. She has a small head, an unnaturally long neck, steeply sloping shoulders, and a rounded stomach. Apart from the pink roses wafting down on her, Venus is pictured without her usual attributes, such as her pearl necklace or Cupid, her son. So, those things that you saw in your art analysis earlier, and of course you can do some extra reading and extra research, you're going to explain parts of it. So ito lang yung gagawin nyo. So you're going to get a very large photo and you're going to chop it or crop it into different parts. And you're going to explain it. So it's going to look like an infographic. So my previous students before, they did it with PowerPoint. Some of them did it with PowerPoint, Keynote, mga online na tools. But those who are using a cell phone lang, who are not able to, who don't have a laptop or a PC, you can do this on your phones. You can do this in your you can do this in your cell phones. Now, because I know that the situation is different. Some of you have laptops or computers, the others don't have. I'm going to give you two options. So it's either a one spread na parang ganito. So you're going to outline it this way, or you can put it in a Microsoft PowerPoint slide, and that's still going to fine. But you need to lay it out properly and you need to make it look like this. Yung malinis pa rin siyang tignan, pero sa PowerPoint mo siya gagawin. Pero pwedeng one slide will be Venus, slide number 2 will be the shell, slide number 3 will be where's number 3? Will be this, the gold highlights, number 4. The point of this is that I will share this with your classmates later on. So if your class, we will have like a virtual tour, so your classmates can look at that. Now going to show you a sample today. So I'm going to share with you my desktop. Okay, so it's like this. For example, you remember what I told you last time. So you go to Google. An example, the painting that was given to you was Starry Night by Van Gogh. You go to images and then you click tools, go to size, go to large, and you can find in there very large paintings by Van Gogh. So find something that you can download. Usually the ones on Wikipedia are free and you can use those ones. Those are very good. Those are very good quality. All right, so we're going to try to use this. As you can see, it's large. So if you're going to zoom in, you can actually see in the details, right? You can place in the details that way. So you can see everything in there entirely and properly as well. So it looks interesting. But let's try something from Wikipedia because that's actually the best copy. Don't worry, the paintings I've given you are the are very famous. So those are available online or on the web or on the internet. So you click that, or there's actually a part there that says download. So you can just download in there. All right. So let's get the full resolution. So these are small pixels. Let's go for something like full reso. There it is. And then we're going to save the image. Let's put that on the desktop. Save. All right. So how are you going to do this? Let's try to open, for example, a blank presentation in PowerPoint. Try to make it a blank format, or just remove those text boxes. Ayan. And let's try to put it there. So there are actually many tools. I know that you are smarter about this than I am. So let's pull out that once, put it there. So when you can actually you try to research first, what are the key things about Starry Night. So maybe your first slide will be something like this. Design it a little bit saying that this is going to be about Starry Night, and then duplicate that. Let's do some research on Starry Night. So for example, Starry Night, Van Gogh, art elements. Oh, see, so it's already out there. It's already available. Oh, and the project is already done for you. Naku, unfair ito. But anyway, what you can do is you have to rewrite it. O, kulang pa din siya kasi I will require you to write a minimum of 3 sentences for every part. So, halimbawa, oh, it's not for free. You have to pay it. But anyway, right? Like, at least we know that there are some available analysis online pala. So let's just say open image in new tab. Let's just say, okay, space. This enormous cypress tree in the foreground helps the viewer understands the arrangement of space. So there's a meaning about the cypress tree. So what you can do is you crop this first. So you can crop that. How do you crop this thing? Where's the crop thing here? Where are you? I can't find it. Asan yung crop? See? Ako tuloy yung medyo na-confused din. Can someone help me? Where's the crop here? Acrobat. No, no, no. Ayun, crop. Sorry, may nang mata ng teacher nyo. Yan. So, you crop this part. Just the cypress. Ayan. Then you write your analysis for this already. So you can also design like, so this is like your virtual tour guide. So you can also add a design like, get an arrow, for example, and you do that, right? And then, or something that's colored so we can see, something that is thicker so that the design can be seen. There you go. And then you can and then you can also insert a text box, right? Like here. And then you can put the analysis. So the cypress tree in Van Gogh's Starry Night. So you just type it there, right? And then you do the same for the rest of it. So next one, you duplicate it again, duplicate it yet again, and then you try to, there are different ways to do this. I'm just showing you what I would do if I was your classmate. So you want to emphasize also on color. So the yellow highlights in the sky help move your eye around the mostly blue composition. We need more details about that. Let's use eto. The artists are here. Wala eh, dapat mas more into the story. So see, eto kulang din siya. That's not enough. So let's try to look for others. Let's look for more analysis online. Okay. So from Khan Academy, for example, that's why you have to read more. You have to just go around and then try to read about the painting, about, okay, this is a certain part, the use of white and yellow create. So I'm just copying this for example ha, but please write your own, reword your projects later on. Do not just copy and paste. Please try to, because I will be running those, I'll be checking those ones. So I'll be asking your classmates to check it actually. So you will be checking each other for plagiarism. So what you're going to do is for example lang ha, example lang. Ito na yung line, or those are the part that you will use, so that you want to show the swirl, right? So you crop it again. You crop it just like what we did a while ago. So you go back in there, crop it towards the part that's useful, and then focus towards that only. Do that. So those are the swirls, right? You want to talk about that. There you go. Okay, and then you do the same thing that we did. So you can do like, there are different ways that you can design. Another way to design, maybe you can put something like, but you're really good actually. Your class is very good with design, so blow me away. I want to see what ideas you already have in your heads. So let's say for example, detail number 2. Detail number 2, we're gonna top that a little bit, bump up by sending it in front. There you go. And then putting the line that you need for the explanation there. But remember a while ago we used orange and it's supposed to be thicker. I think we chose a one. Then you can insert a text box or something. You can also include shape actually, and just clear off the background after that. So you just go for edit text, paste the text in there. It's too huge. You can even choose your fonts that you want. My favorite is Atelas. So let's go down to, I think, 11. It's quite a lot. So expand the box a little bit. There you go. Wait. Okay. And we're going to change the color or the background. So you can use something like this. Because we're using orange, you can also do something like that probably. But it's too much. Like we don't want that much detail or color. So probably the lines will be orange as well. All right, so there you go. It's more interesting, right? So that's how we're going to do about it. So when your classmates will read this later on, but this is very long. You're not supposed to write something like this. It's quite long. It's too much. Let's go for ayan para medyo makita siya so that it will be easier to read, something like that, right? So when your classmates will be doing this, or when they will be when they will be going over your slides, or if they want to see Van Gogh's Starry Night, for example, it's easier for them to study that. So why is this very important? Last part. I want you to put the numbers in there. So there are different ways you can number. Of course, the very basic one is for you to do, but duplicate that again. And the easiest thing that you can do is put it in squares. So for example, you want to put in there your squares like this, or circles. So what's our number one? It was the cypress tree, remember? So you box it that way. And then, oh my gosh, I do not know how to put a line. I don't know how to put a line actually. Or you can just write, for example, or you can put just a line in there. So we're gonna insert a line, and it's like this. So that's the cypress tree. Same thing, same rule. Let's choose a 2.25, and then you put the number in there. So you just say so that's number one, right? Number two is the swirl. So you can put another one for the swirl. Let's copy that. V. There's the swirl. There it is. Let's pull it in there. So yeah, you can insert your text box in there. So this becomes number one. This becomes, there's your number one. And this becomes your number two. Ayun. See? So it's just, and then you do the rest, you do it for the rest of the painting. If there's an explanation for this, that's number three. If there's an explanation for that, that's number four. If there's an explanation for the whole story, you can put that as number five, and then you put it there. Why did I say five? Because that's the minimum number of cuts. So you're supposed to have five details about your assigned painting. Any questions? There are no questions. You're going to save that as PDF. How do we usually do that? You go to File, Save As, and then you choose PDF. File format becomes PDF. All right? Or you can save it as PPT or PPTX, and then you use an online converter from PPT to PDF. So you're going to submit a PDF so that I can check it easier. However, you're going to submit both. So you're going to submit both because I'm going to run it through the plagiarism checker, and I will ask your classmates to do that with me. Ganun lang. How about if you want to do the longer the poster thing, the one that I showed to you earlier. You can actually also do that. That's also quite easy. What you do is you get the painting, and then put it in there, and then you just this is where you arrange everything. So pwedeng ganyan, and then you start putting the cuts together. So for example, right? So you can put that. But of course, you need to put the numbers here pala. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you do this. So example number 1, explanation. And then this is number 2, explanation, etc. So it becomes a poster. The thing kasi, even if it is just one slide, I'll show you something. You save it as PDF. All right, so you export it that way. So let's try to see it. Where's the PDF? Sorry. Where is it? Did I not save it there? Let's do it again. Save as. Let's go to the desktop. PDF. Van Gogh. Let's try to see. There. So it's quite small, but you can actually zoom in that way. So I can still read it. That's the nice thing about PDFs, as long as the quality is really good. Diba? So even if it's small that way, it's still easy to navigate like this, similar to this one. So that's how you're going to do your midterm project. Any questions for your midterm project?
None, sir.
All right, so I'll be same thing. No size dimensions, don't worry, as long as it's in a PDF. So your choices will be, you can submit to me a, what is this? You can submit to me a one-page thing, an infographic type, or you can put it in a different set of slides. All right? Basta ganun yung itsura niya. All right. So after yeah. So given that, the next part of your task will focus more into art history, and that's where you're going to do your brochure. I have some samples here already. There's a lot of samples here in my here that my other students before have done. Let me pull that out for you. The brochures are really really good. Their outputs were really great. So I'm going to assign to you certain ano, I'm going to assign to you certain movements, just like what we did last time, and you're going to create brochures based on that one. All right, so this is an example. So this one is cave art. So this is the front and this is the back. This is individual pala, not by two. So, I saw there na. So curator campus Shekinah. So really nice one. So the details are also in there. Okay. Um others. Eto din. So this is Chinese. Mhm. What else? Eto. These are brochure arts. Ayan, this is Dada. Ayan. So the details are there. All you need, the challenge I think is the designing and the rewording, because you're not going to copy and paste. Try to reword it naman para fresh yung content niya. Ayun. What else? Do I have more? Actually, I think I have a lot eh. This one is my favorite, the yellow one. Ayun. I like this, very simple. Renaissance and mannerism. This is the inside. So brochure, it must be to bifold. Sa tourism yata favorite activity nyo to. This one is on Fauvism. Right? Nice one. Again, ganda, 'di ba? So depends on the kind of output that you also that's given to you also. So the way you design it must be unique, must be great. Ayun. So what is pop? This is about pop art. I love this one too. These are the ones I'm showing you right now, yung mga perfect. These are the outputs that got perfect from me. I love this. I love this one too because it's a lot of colors, masakit sa mata. But this is surrealism. So I think it was actually good the way that they designed it. So okay, what are the key parts of the museum brochure? Um okay, individual or by twos?
Individual, sir.
Who says individual? Let's go to Messenger. Wait lang ha.
Long.
The task is going to be individual. and it's going to be your this is the second part of your project. So you're going to do the infographics that I showed to you a while ago for the painting, the anatomy of a painting. If you're going to do sculpture, it's also okay. Ganun pa din naman, same rule. So anatomy of an artwork, and then this one is your brochure. So 40 plus 40, that's 80, and then you will have your exam on Thursday next week. Those are go plus your question for today. So those are your outputs for the midterms. Um where's my Chrome? Okay, so going back, if there are questions with the outputs, you can post it. You can post that later in here, or you can ask in the comment section. All right, so um I will be talking to you about your theories or in art criticism. So this is in your module already. Just a run through of the key terms or important parts. So when you talk about art criticism, formal theories, contextual theories, and what makes art great. Now, I think you've already I will not ask you to do an essay anymore. It's already tiring as it is. I know that you have a lot of things to do, so hindi ko na dadagdagan yan ng art analysis. But please promise that you will do your best with the last activities that I am asking from you. So I know that many of you did well with the essay activity from last time, but this time you have another one. You have your brochure, and then you have your brochure, and then you have your brochure, and then you have your what's this your infographic, your anatomy of an artwork. Those are the last projects, so I hope that you're going to do well. For the examination, kindly take note for what's this for the content of the exam. More focus will be given here in lesson 5 and some parts of lesson 4. So you have to go back to the subjects of art. So meron yung subjects of art, I will still be giving lesson 4. Remember from the first grading so that you will not forget those. Lesson 5 and lesson 7. So are you going to get from lesson 6? No na. So the lesson 7 in here, ay, hindi, baliktad, sorry. This is lesson 7. Lesson 6. We will not get from lesson 7 because this is so much. I don't want you to review and then baka mamaya you will memorize all of this na naman. No, we will not do that. But you will have 4, 5, 6 because the sixth part is where you can find there the topic today, and then this one, curating, etc., which is actually the important part of your examination later on. So we'll go over this today. When you do art crit, just like what we always talk about, there are different theories that you always have to use. So there are three kinds of theories. The first one is formal, second one is contextual, the third is expressive. So pag sinasabi po natin na formal theory, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay makafocus lang tayo sa elements and principles of art and design. The parts of the composition come together to create a visual experience that may interest us or not. What you are doing, your anatomy of art, is an example of formal analysis. You are analyzing the painting based on what it looks like. Okay? Contextual theories, on the other hand, look at the environmental influence on a work of art. So titingnan muna niya kailan ginawa yung artwork. For example, so what else is going on with the culture during that time? I have an example in here. So let's go to photos. Let's try the Tower of Babel. This is the Tower of Babel. If we're going to do a formal analysis of this painting, you're just going to study how it looks like. So you will look at the colors, you will look at the proportion, you can look at the scale, you can look at the balance, all those things that we've been talking about. Those are formal theories. So that's a formal analysis. However, look, this is Wikipedia. Conceptual or contextual, here contextual theories means you need to look at what else is going on. So what else is going on here? the Tower of Babel actually came from a narrative. That's in Genesis chapter 11 verses 1 to 9. It's an origin myth. It it's an origin myth. It means to explain why the world's peoples speak different languages. So the only way for you to appreciate and understand the Tower of Babel as a painting is if you know Genesis 11 1 to 9. Ganun po ang contextual. So pag-aralan mo or tingnan mo kung ano yung iba doon. For example, yung ano din, yung what is this? Starry Night, right? So we keep going back to Starry Night. It's a nice example. Starry Night, for example, is a very well-known painting, of course. And when you're going to look at Starry Night as a painting, you can study the brush strokes, you can study the color, you can study the patterns, and all of those ones are interesting. Okay, those can become areas or fields of study that you can use for your analysis or for your study. However, if you study Van Gogh as a depressed artist and what is going on in Paris during that time, you can and then this is an asylum, 'di ba? I told you nakuha yung painting na to. This is the view from outside the window of his asylum. That's why you can see the cypress tree in front. So you can, that's what you call contextual already. You're able to analyze something based on the cultural impact. Parang ganun ba? Okay, so for the reading and writing part of it, I will not be holding this anymore because you can just go over it, but I will include parts of it in the exam lang. I'll discuss that with you later once we go to the last part. And finally, we have expressive theories. All artworks are made by people, so the skill level, personal intent, emotional state, mindset, and gender of the creator must play a role in the creative process. So kanina sabi ko, 'di ba, cultural will be the asylum. This time ang titignan mo yung depressed state ni Van Gogh. So expressive theories or analysis of this painting will be, for example, what was Van Gogh's mental state during this time. Van Gogh wrote in his letter to his brother Theo that the only thing that makes him happy are the lights of people, the yellow lights that you can see at the bottom of the painting. And that's an example of expressive theory. So titingnan mo yung impact niya on a personal level. Any questions?
Sir, question po pala dun sa activities.
Okay.
Sir, paano po pala kami mag-cite ng sources? I-include po ba namin doon?
Yeah. No need to cite your sources. I know that's a wrong that's a wrong thing, but this is that's the paintings that I actually chose for you. Yung mga binigay ko sa inyo, those are, what's the right word? Those are famous. Those are already parang studied. It's those paintings are already studied by many scholars. So I feel like, did you observe, 'di ba? Who was asking the question?
Hindi, sir. Ako.
Charles, did you observe that what painting was assigned to you?
Sir, yung potato eaters.
Potato Eaters by Van Gogh. Potato Eaters by Van Gogh. Van Gogh, that was one of the first paintings by Van Gogh, right? And
Sir.
did you observe that when you look over, let's say, 5 sources, they have the same analysis? Or they have common analysis?
Opo.
Yun. So, because they have common analysis, parang ang point ko lang din, parang it's already something that's out there. It's already general. So, I think it's fine. That's why actually that's one of the ways, Charles and classmates, you can look at a painting for your analysis to be good. Ano lang siya, guys, you try to see, you try to read many sources lang. So for example, from this source, sinabi niya na the potato eaters kaya siya brown kasi nag-experiment pa si Van Gogh ng ganito. So nabasa mo rin 'yon in another analysis, that may mean something. That's why it came out twice. So you try to look at many sources and try to thematize or try to put together what is common or general about these sources, and that's what you put in your infographic. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so no need for sources. Basta infographic lang yung dating niya. But since you can do this in what's this in PowerPoint, I wish you can do the one page lang para maganda siyang tignan. Actually, the point son of doing this is if all of you can do it in an infographic type, you can submit to me pala a JPEG or PDF. So I can put together your JPEG or PDF, and then I can compile it in one like album or one PDF file, and I can share it with everyone so you can see it. Sorry, last one more thing. For the name, kindly place it properly and nicely, neatly. Huwag yung sa kung saan-saan lang yung pangalan. So put it on the bottom right hand. Eto, parang yung art app. Put it on the bottom right hand area. So siguro dito, yung pangalan mo, maliit lang siya. Do not put it anywhere or do not put it in the center or do not put your name in very large letters or very large font. Maganda kung sa gilid lang. Pwedeng dito or pwede rin dito. Nakaganon siya, nakatayo siya. Okay? So write your name on the lower right hand side of the margins. Okay, so those are your formal theories. Okay, so formal, contextual, expressive. Question. O sige, let's look for a painting. Okay, this is the Scream. Monk, the artist is Edvard Monk. Edvard Monk has anxiety that he is losing his friends. How did I come up with that? What kind of analysis did I do? Formal, contextual, expressive.
Expressive, sir.
How about the others? F, C, or E? Just type it in the comment section. F, C, E. Attendance checker, okay na ba pala attendance? Hindi ako nagpaano. O bakit dalawa lang sumasagot? Yan, expressive, good. The colors, the colors that were used were to present a certain kind of spiral, which represents technique. FCE. Hmm. It's F. It's a formal theory. Why? It's about the theme of the work. It's about the style. Okay? How the work was done. All right. Next, ano pa ba? This is post-impressionism. This painting is considered impressionist. This is an impressionist painting. FCE. This is an impressionist painting. Impressionist meaning kasabayan nila Van Gogh. Pero totoo, kasabayan nila Van Gogh si Monk. This is an impressionist painting. FCE. Number 3. This painting is considered an impressionist. I'm practicing you because this is what will appear in your exam. Ganito yung exam nyo, guys. Analysis ulit. Hindi kayo pwede mag-Google. FCE. Why is no one typing? It's okay. Wala namang mawawala sa inyo. Just write your ano. Feeling ko yung mga naglagay ng C doon kasi hindi ko pa tinatanong yung C. The correct answer is F. So, the first one who typed. Gesture. Why is it letter F? Because it's still about the form, di ba? How do we know that something is impressionist? Based on the painting, based on the color, di ba? Yun yung style niya. Remember first grading, di ba? The different kinds of painting. I will also ask you that in the exam. So I will show you a painting. I will ask you what's the subject of this painting, etc. Mga ganun ba? So I think it's 60 points because I think it's 60 points but there are some parts in there that are times 2. So baka mag 85 mga ganun. I'm not sure. I'll let you know about it. So the exam is quite the exam might be quite difficult. So kindly go over the key terms. You need to know how to apply the things that we are learning in here, okay? So finally, last question. The painting was done during the Great Depression. The painting was done during the Great Depression. The painting was done during the Great Depression. The Great Depression. Guys, letter C. Bakit? Hindi siya expressive kasi kaya inuulit ko yung Great Depression. I think ang nagets nyo doon sa Great Depression, the Great Depression is a period in history. Remember, do you know the Great Depression? Yun yung time na walang pera yung walang perang mga tao. Bumaba yung ekonomiya, wala silang trabaho, wala silang pera. So yung mga tao walang makain. Hindi siya depression na depressed ka mentally na mag-isa mo. Depressed kayo as a whole community. The Great Depression is an era. That's a contextual theory. So parang ganun yung exam. I'll be giving you some analysis and then you'll be answering me if it's cultural, contextual, expressive, or formal. Mga ganun lang. Okay, great. Evaluating with words. So get the facts just to run through it. Get the facts when you are evaluating, analyze and evaluate. So using your adjectives. We'll talk about that. We talked about that before, but we'll talk about it later also. Remember what we did with when we analyzed mango pickers, parang ganon. Okay, vocabulary, curator. Siya yung bahala sa museum collection. Remember, you watched that in the asynchronous session. Exhibition designer designs exhibition spaces, they paint the walls, arrange artwork, and usually under the supervision of the curator. Center line is the imaginary line exhibition designers use to hang artworks. Accent wall, anchor piece, and wall text. Let's go over this. Ay guys, in the exam, meron palang ano doon. You should know the famous paintings. I'll be asking you the I think my identification nga. I-double check ko na lang siya and then I'll tell you by next week. You need to know the artist or the title of the painting. Ayun. Okay. This is what the this is what the Starry Night looks like in the museum. Di siya gaanong malaki, guys. All right. Now, what are the terms in there? Guys, a few seconds lang. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Curator, guys, silang may malaking trabaho sa museum. Curator, guys, are very important. Why? They're the ones who create the theme. Sila yung nag-organize. Kaya ang mga curators, ano yung mga yan? Grabe ang training ng mga yan. Matatalino, magaling mag-conceptualize, mag-thematize. So, you are responsible for putting together the exhibition and the collection. So dapat yung curator kasi 'di ba parang may pera din naman ang mga ang mga museums. Um yung curator alam din niya kung ano yung ang dapat nilang bilhin. So alam niya kung sino yung mga artist na kailangan niya. So remember when we were discussing Picasso, I told you that MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, was called the house that Picasso built. Because the curators during that time, binibili nila talaga nila yung mga artworks ni Picasso. Alam nilang lalaki si Picasso. Picasso is going to be a big name in the art world. So they've been buying his works and exhibiting it. And until now, it's in their museum. So that's also part of the curator. Kaya ang curator, napaka-prestigious niyan. They know the artist, they buy the works of the artist. Syempre, it's not their money, it's the money of the museum. But they know how to deal with them. Parang ganon. So, pag magazine sana, sila yung editor. Parang ganon. Pero pag museum, yung curator yon. Ang exhibition designer, sila yung mag-aayos ng yung overall visual look niya. So, example, pag-design ng exhibition space, pagpinta ng mga walls, 'di ba you watched that in the episode I sent you last week, pag-arrange ng artwork, at pag-supervise or to help the curator. Those are the works of the exhibition designer. The center line is the imaginary line. Hindi natin nakikita. Ito yung ginagamit to hang the artwork. So as you can see, the middle of the painting falls between 54 and 62 inches. So as you can see, parang ang point niya, parang yung taas niya dito. So this is supposed to be around 52 to 62 inches. So the imaginary line that's being said is this one, yung taas niya dito. Can you see my mouse? Yung taas niya or yung distance niya from the bottom and from the top. Parang ganun. Yun yung imaginary line, yung center line. Accent wall is there's no accent wall here. Let's look for an accent wall in the others. Ito yung yung pinaral natin na Pollock, ganun siya kalaki. Bakit walang accent wall dito? Ganito ang guys, ang Monet, napakalaki. I cannot find an accent wall. This can be an accent wall siguro. An accent wall is important from the word itself, accent wall, because it's very different from the rest of the exhibit. So usually, iba yung kulay. Let's see nga. I think I have my pictures of Sir Ben Cab. Let's try to see Ben Cab. Where did I put that before? Dropbox. Rappler. Ben Cab. Ayun. This is Sir Ben Benedict Cabrera, National Artist for Visual Arts, 1993. So pagpasok mo, ganito siya. Guys, yung mga hindi taga Baguio na naka-enroll, please, before you graduate from college, please see the Benka Museum at least twice. So, this is the 32 variations of sabel. Ito yung sabel na sinasabi, very sikat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4. Those are the different variations of sabel. You can find this in the foyer. And this is how it looks like inside. So, of course, ang parang curator na rin dito si Sir Ben. So, Ben Cab is the curator. Binili niya yung mga to from different sources or suppliers and collectors also. So, pag may minsan nagkukwento niya, parang yung mga kubo sa labas ng bahay, ay mga yun, mga binenta rin sa kanya. Mga hindi yan. Wala dito, hindi ko nakunan. So, those are the mga binenta rin yung mga yun sa kanya. Okay? So as a curator, because Bencam knows that he has a Cordillera art exhibit, if there's an interesting Cordilleran art or Cordilleran piece, he needs to buy that. He needs to add it in his collection. Also, this is how it looks like. So this can be like the accent wall. It may not have a different color, but it is separated from the rest. So these ones are, bakit kaya siya na-separate? Makes you wonder what makes them special. Even by way of lighting, or positioning. Ayan, so these are some of his works. These are done by other national artists. Ayan, so Mga ganyan. So, the way that they design this, pinag-iisipan nila yung mga yan. Pinag-uusapan nila kung paano para malinis yung kita. Actually, minsan curators have a way of telling a story. So, as an art enthusiast myself, when I go to a museum, one of the first things I try to look into is how is the exhibit designed. So, mas maganda bang mauna ko dito? Or do I start from the outside and then go to the core or to the inside? Or do I need to start at the core and go outside and roam around outside? Or is it okay to just go randomly? Okay, so there's also a story behind that. Mga ganyan. So this is an example of an exhibit. Yung mga bulol. This is the coffee shop slash restaurant in Bencab, Sabel, Cafe Sabel. This is my favorite, this is my favorite Sabel that I was telling you. I love this. This is my pinaka-paboritong Sabel ni Sir Bencab. Ang ganda. We'll talk if you are curious, you can ask me, but let's not discuss that now. Baka humaba yung discussion ko, magta-time na. Ayan, so ito yung sa baba. Nice, right? That's his house. This is his house and that's his view. Very beautiful. So this is the Benka Museum. This is the Benka Museum. Ayan. All right. um okay, so going back, when you talk about anchor piece, ang anchor piece na sinasabi natin, it is the strongest. Pwedeng minsan yung pinakamalaki, but usually the strongest painting. Look at this. Look at how it's designed. Eto Pollock, di ba? Alam nilang maraming manonood niyan or titingin niyan. Sikat na painting yan. So ilalagay nila sa certain area. So magiging ang tawag diyan accent piece. Syempre MoMA is international and they are rich and they have a lot of collections. So accents are everywhere. Ang dami nilang accent pieces. So for example, when you go to this, you can sit down or there's a large space in here where you can where you can stand and study the painting. This is also one of the famous paintings of Matisse, The Dance. Le Danse by Henri Matisse. So as you can see, no, the people are gathering around it. It's an accent piece Sikat na sikat yan. So mga tao from around the world, they visit MoMA and they look for that. So nung inarrange yan, alam nila maraming manonood. So dapat wala masyadong katabi or may area na makikita siya ng maayos, parang ganon, no? Oh, wow, this is a nice blog. Let's go over it. Remember Pollock? This is Claude Monet. Water Lilies. See? So they also have tours. This is an accent piece. The whole room is filled with the works with the water lilies. Eto accent piece. Tingnan nyo yan. Accent piece in the anchor piece. It's an anchor piece in the accent wall. So sineparate nila from the rest of it. Parang yung Van Gogh kanina, like that. See? So people have a chance to take a photo or whatever. So talagang parang yan, it's very special. What's this? Remember? The Damascene de Avignon, the Ladies of Avignon, right? Or Avignon by Picasso. Again, another Picasso. So, ganyan. When you put pieces together, these are some Picasso, but these are not everyone knows about it. Parang ganon. So, as you can see, medyo lax yung itsura niya. But if you look at the anchor pieces, they're all over the place there. So, nilalagyan talaga nila sila ng special area so that people can gather around it. Parang yan yung niyayabang nila, Parang ito yung special piece nila. Parang ganon. The wall text is the text beside it, the information. Ito, the paper there, that's the wall text. Okay? Let's see nga there. There's the wall text. So, Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, usually yung 4 out of the 5. What are the important things that you need to know about a painting? Comment section. Hala, hindi nila maalala. Huwag niyo akong kakalimutan kung yumaman kayo ha. Sendan niyo ako ng postcard or ang tawag dito, ref magnet. Pag nakapag-MoMA kayo. Yeah, the artist, date or year, medium, one more na meron usually sa wall text. May isa pa. The artist, di nyo lang nilagay pero yun yung basic. What comes before the artist? Yes. So usually ganyan yan. Ganyan. So example that's for example pag may bagong ano tawag dito red, blue and yellow 1948 Mark Rothko oil on canvas. Ganon. So usually yan yung apat. Pero tayo because we are not in the museum, we are learning the fifth one which is the location. Parang ganun, right? So, The Starry Night, 1948, Vincent Van Gogh, what's this? Oil on Canvas, and then MoMA, New York. Mga ganon. So, those are the details that you're supposed to know or that you're supposed to take note. Wall text yung paglalagyan yan. I'll be sharing this with you para lang masilip ninyo. It's also a nice way for you to look at an exhibition. You know, if you're if you are in class, meron akong pinapa-activity na gustong-gusto ng taga IHTM. Exhibit layout museum. Sometimes we use ayun. Pero usual lang ginagamit namin nakakamiss sa classroom. Sa SEA magaling sila sa ganito, course nila eh. Magka-cut out sila maliliit na paintings, i-arrange nila sa mga styrofoam or mga boards na ginawa nila. Mag-create sila ng exhibit or museum. Ang ganda. And then they will explain or they will justify why they curated it that way. Parang ganon. So we usually do these kinds of activities before. God, I miss the classroom. So we use styrofoam, etc. It's a dummy, it's a museum or space dummy. So I can also ask them or give them tips like because I used to I was trained. I had some trainings about exhibition and curatorship. So I can give you tips on how to hang, how to put it together, saan mo ilalagay yung anchor piece mo, mga ganon, anong color ang pwedeng gamitin sa accent mo, mga ganon ba? Mga nice stuff lang. Ayun. So, I'll be sharing this with you later. There are some things you can look into this curator, security, audience. So you will have so this is very important also to identify what the exhibit is all about. So you need to have a name for your exhibition, dates of exhibition, location, about the exhibit, and then the display. So two-dimensional works are displayed on the walls at eye level. Three-dimensional works are displayed on plinths to enable the viewer to see the work, etc. Lighting, layout, mga ganyan. So, selected artist, sino yung mga artist na ilalagay natin? Mga ganon. So, curating is very exciting. It's nice, no? It will introduce you to a lot of wonderful things about art. It's really special. I think it's one of the it's something that shouldn't die. Ang problema sa medyo dito sa atin kasi sa Pinas, wala talagang subject na meron tayong art history sa UP at saka sa Lasal, pero wala tayong yung curatorship. So there are also some curators like here in UP Baguio. The curator of Museo Cordillera is Ma'am Ikin, Ma'am Balmores. She's a teacher in the social sciences anthropology department. So she's an anthropologist by training. So if you also go to the museum, there are different kinds of museum ha. So may mga museum na na pang may mga museum ba na may mga museum tayo na pang ethnographic. Yung Museo Cordillera Ethnographic Museum ang tawag doon, mga gamit ng mga tao sa culture nila. Mga weapons, cooking, fabric, jewelry, ganon. Meron naman tayong yung art museum like MoMA, right? Meron din tayong mga, there are different kinds of museum. So, it depends on what you are. There's also a fabric museum or fashion museum, etc. So, depende kung ano yung na-exhibit doon. All right, so that ends our synchronous for the midterms. On Thursday, I'll be sending you some videos to watch and a short lecture also on the last part of our discussion for the midterm closure. And then your examination is next week, Thursday. So for Tuesday, of course, we will not meet. But don't worry, I will be dividing the deadlines. Ano ba? Let's talk about the deadlines before we go. Anong kaya nyo? Hatiin natin ha. How about um, Infographic Friday, Brochure Tuesday? Okay ba yon? Kaya nyo ba? Can you handle that? Yes. How about the others? Yes. Okay ba? So okay ha. Para rin makapag-review kayo kasi ma-stress. But I will be posting some questions. Don't worry, lang short answers lang, mga 5 to 6 sentences per meeting. I'll post your question today later. So meron tayong Tuesday, Thursday, and then these last two projects. So for the what you call this? For the for this part, lang tayo, Thursday na ay Friday yung deadline ng infographic, so you can start working. You know your topics naman na. And then the next one will be for the next one will be for what's this? The next one will be for Tuesday next week for the exam day. So the brochure will be on Tuesday. How's your exam on Wednesdays? How is your exam on Wednesdays? Hello. How is your exam during Wednesday?